Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my retro review for The Invisible Man's Revenge, which came out in 1944 and is the last of the Invisible Man series. At least in terms of the solo movies. This movie once again stars Jon Hall as the Invisible Man, but he's not playing Frank Griffin Jr. Instead, he's playing a man named Robert Griffin, who has nothing to do with any of the other characters, despite the fact that his last name is Griffin. Please refer to the beginning of my Invisible Agent review when I talk about the weird continuity, or lack thereof, within these Universal monsters, because I'm not doing that again. Anyway, he is a man that has been committed to a mental institution by his friends, or I guess I should say former friends. He manages to escape the mental institution, killing 2 orderlies in the process, and then tracks down his former friends to try to blackmail them into giving him all that they're worth. That doesn't work out. They basically knock him out and send him on his way, and he goes, "All right, you fools, you've brought it on yourselves!" And he enacts this revenge when he comes across a scientist played by John Carradine who has discovered the formula to invisibility. So he becomes this film's Invisible Man to try to get revenge on his former friends. Now that I've seen all the sequels in this series of Universal monster movies, I can safely say that they're like Star Trek movies, where every other movie is either the good one or the bad one. Invisible Man Returns and Invisible Agent are the 2 best, and then The Invisible Woman and The Invisible Man's Revenge are the weakest ones of the bunch. Obviously, they can't top the original Invisible Man, which is a masterpiece. The Invisible Man's Revenge, however, is not a masterpiece, and while it's not a bad movie per se, it's very tiring. It has a lot of the things that we've seen before, and coming off the unique concept that was Invisible Agent, this movie doesn't really have anything new or exciting to offer. But it does have its shining moments, though. Jon Hall does a good job playing Robert Griffin, and even though you're gonna have to get over the fact that he has nothing to do with the other Griffins in this series, he does a good job at playing this man who feels like he's been wronged by his former friends, and is willing to do as much as he can to get revenge on them. So it's a very different character than Frank Griffin Jr. in Invisible Agent. John Carradine is also really good in this movie as the scientist that comes up with the invisible formula. He just has that really eccentric, mad scientist persona and look, kind of like a more unhinged Doc Brown, though he does have his limits. He doesn't go that far over the edge like Dr. Frankenstein. And John Carradine has actually popped up in other Universal monster movies. He was a caretaker for the mummy Karras in The Mummy's Ghost, and he would later go on to play Count Dracula in House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula, which we'll get to soon. And he's also David Carradine's father, so there you go. And Leon Errol plays a character named Herbert Higgins, who is basically Robert Griffin's lackey or second-hand man. And he gives a fun performance, and there's a fun sequence involving a game of darts, which has nothing to do with the rest of the movie, but it's a fun scene. It's basically where Higgins is trying to win back some money, and the Invisible Man decides to help him in a game of darts by basically just taking the darts and just running them over to the board so he gets a bullseye every time. It's a fun scene and definitely the biggest highlight out of a movie that is just more or less the same that we've seen from the first 2 movies. One thing that this movie does that I really liked from Invisible Agent is all the unique ways that the Invisible Man reveals himself. Soon after he becomes invisible, he breaks into his former friend's mansion to basically creep him out. The wife comes in, doesn't believe him, so Robert Griffin basically splashes his face with water so he can actually present himself. And that's pretty clever. There's also a scene where he douses his face in flour, which is also really cool. Despite those moments though, this movie is just more of the same. It's nowhere near as iconic as the original Invisible Man. You don't really have any sympathy for the main character like you do in The Invisible Man Returns, nor is the movie itself unique or something different like Invisible Agent. It's just more of the same, which is why I say watch at your own risk. It's entertaining, it's never boring, and it's certainly leagues better than The Mummy's Curse, which ended that series. but this is not really a movie that I go out of my way to see again. I would gladly rewatch Invisible Agent again if I had to pick any of the sequels, and I kind of wish the Invisible Man series ended with that movie where the formula is finally put to good use. Because this one, much like with Ghost of Frankenstein and The Mummy's Curse, feels like an unnecessary cash grab. It's better than those two, but it's not the best ending for the Invisible Man series. And there you go, that's my review for the Invisible Man's Revenge. I hope you enjoyed it. And with that, we are done with the Invisible Man series. For now, the Invisible Man will return later on, but we've been reviewing a lot of sequels. Some of them are flat out mediocre, but some of them are also good. But now I think it's time we revisit a classic. So next time we're gonna jump into the next Universal monster movie, The Wolfman. I already reviewed Leigh Whannell's Wolfman from earlier this year, but now it's finally time to review this classic, which funny enough, didn't have any solo sequels following it, which I guess this makes it one of the more unique Universal monster movies. But we'll get to that next time. So thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I want to give a special thank you to my subscribers and YouTube members right over here. You guys are the reason why this channel continues to grow every day, and if you want to help to financially support the channel, you could do so via YouTube memberships for as little as $1.99 a month. But until next time, I want to know what you guys think about The Invisible Man's Revenge. Whatever your opinions are, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, you can find me on these social media platforms and my theme park and travel channel right here on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.